Hello folks, I hope you're having just a great day today and staying safe in today's modern day environment. Today I've got a real treasure for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hospital of Transplanted Hearts. It's by D.M. Thomas. It was published in New Wave, in the New Wave magazine in the late 60s and 69. I have it as a part of this best science fiction of 69 book that was edited by Harry Harrison, a famous science fiction writer who wrote a lot of different works, like the Stainless Steel Rat that I've already reviewed 2 of his works for you. He edited this, and the reason why I want to bring for you Hospital Transplanted Hearts is because it's a great example of something I've talked to you about before, and that's the New Wave story, and that's those that was happening in science fiction in the 60s. Michael Moorcock had been leading this magazine that was being published in the UK in the 60s, and he was editing it at the time, and he was pushing forward new ways of writing the genre, new ways of approaching the genre that were sort of outside the normal sort of traditional bounds of science fiction. Science fiction had started out as sort of these adventures in space. They were fun, they were interesting, they didn't have a whole lot of grounding to them. Then you started to have this sort of grounding movement that happened as they started to take the genre seriously, and then one of the things you'll see is a push against that, to push the art form, to push itself outside the box, and to play with the genre in some new ways. And playing with the genre in new ways is a key part of what that magazine that Moorcock was writing in the 60s. And I've already talked with you about that before, when I've talked about Michael Moorcock, as in some of my works that I've done for you, when I've reviewed some of his work and talked about his bio and how he edited this, and he was a big influence in science fiction due to his editing of this magazine. And this 69 work is a great example of that, Hospital of Transplanted Hearts, which is best shown as a poem. It's really something else, but it's best kind of conceived of as a poem. I'm going to show it to you in a moment because it's a visual poem. But basically what it does is it's basically an early form of a chart. And I'll show it to you. Here. It's 6 pages long. It will take you probably longer than 6 pages to read it, and so forth. But here's how it is. And I'll bring it up to you. As you can see, you're going to take in this Hospital of Transplanted Hearts, you have the top here is the body section up here of these different types of characters. Body of a priest, the body of a soldier. I'll pull that out a little bit so that the autofocus is better on it. Body of a priest, body of a soldier, right, and so forth. And each of them are over there. And over here is the heart of these different types of people. And as you can see here, you have the heart sections. And what you'll do is you'll run them up across each other, and you'll see what that lines up to be. And I'll just give you a couple of examples I'll read to you real quickly. What if you took the heart of a soldier, somebody who loves fighting, and put it in the body of a priest? You would get, he baptized the little ones with fire. What if you took the heart of a composer, somebody who likes to write things, and put it in a body of a priest? Well, you would get, through all troubling modulations, always the home key. What if you put the heart of a composer in the body of a soldier? He wrote a victory march for the refugees to sing. You can see how each of these has this literary concept that's a few words long, and that's the story. And there's basically 3 pages of it, and you can see everything in here from, gardeners to masochists, surgeons and scientists, and various different sort of concepts in there. And sometimes there are little digs on things like modern in 69 science, politics during that time. South Africa is mentioned, and so forth. But this is D.M. Thomas. And again, it starts on page 61 in my collection in this best of, and it ends on page 65. But you can kind of see it in there. And again, this is, I consider it to be a great example of that new wave ideas at its forth. This is something that's pushing the genre forward. It's doing something different. It's playing with the genre of poetry, of science fiction, doing it in an interesting way. What would it be like if each of these hearts were transplanted in each of these bodies? Giving a quick little vignette. It takes a while. It'll probably take longer for you to read it than it does. but I love it. I love the idea. I love what it does, and so forth. I'll try to find you a place to link to it. Maybe I can find you a collection of it somewhere like this one, or another one. I'll take a look, see if I can find it for you, and put a link to it in the description below. In the meantime, there you are. There is your Hospital of Transplanted Hearts. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the idea, that central concept from '69? You know, a modern story that did this with Excel would be considered, I'm sure, very avant-garde. To have done this in '69, I think is even better. So there you are to it. I'll leave you to it. If you've never heard of it before, if you've read it, I'd love to talk to you about that further in the comments below, what you thought about the story as a story. If you comments below. If you like this review, please feel encouraged to hit that subscribe button. There's going to be so many more of these science fiction, fantasy, and horror works to follow that this channel really focuses in on. I do 3 reviews for you a week. And finally, I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to watch this video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives and so many things pulling us in different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's very humbling, and I appreciate that. Have a great day.